Welcome back. And now that you've read the article on math and play, let's return to our foundations book and look at pages 121 and 122 and 123, where you will see the specific developmental indicators for each goal listed for the first subdomain, construction of knowledge, thinking and reasoning. Also take note of anything you see in the yellow box, as you will notice on page 123 how important it is for teachers and caregivers to encourage and support perspective taking in young children. On pages 124, 125, and 126, you will see examples of specific strategies to use for infants and toddlers as well as preschoolers to assist children in thinking and reasoning. So now let's look on pages 127 and 128, where you will find the developmental indicators for the specific goals for the subdomain creative expression. The yellow box on page 128 emphasizes providing various types of experiences and materials and using them in a variety of ways. On pages 129 and 130, you will see examples of strategies for infants and toddlers as well as for preschoolers. Again, remember, these are just examples. There are so many more strategies that you are probably already currently using with children. Now, the specific goals and developmental indicators for the subdomain social connections are found on pages 131 to 134. It's important to remember to respect each child's unique experiences, as noted in the yellow boxes on pages 131 and 133. Pages 135 and 136 have the strategies for infants and toddlers as well as preschoolers. Strategies, as you know, can be routines, a transition, an individual approach, or an activity for a small or large group. Now let's move on to pages 137 through 141. So there's several pages here where you'll find the developmental indicators for the specific goals for the subdomain mathematical thinking and expression. Now I know some of you are not comfortable with math. However, children need to see the enthusiasm from you in this area, and this is one of my favorite areas. Children love to develop the concept and skills that are foundational for mathematical knowledge. The yellow box on page 138 emphasizes that children develop understanding mathematical concepts through hands-on activities that are related to real life rather than the names and numbers and counting for the sake of counting. So this may help to ease some of your tension about math. So there's several different goals here that you'll want to look at and take note of for mathematical thinking and expression. And then on pages 142 and 143, you will see examples of strategies for infants and toddlers as well as for preschoolers. And some of those strategies may be very helpful for you, especially those of you who are not as comfortable with math ideas and concepts. Now, the specific goals and development indicators for the subdomain scientific exploration and knowledge are found on pages 144 and 145. And it's important to remember each child's unique experiences, differences, and abilities as noted in the yellow box on page 144. Pages 146 and 147 have your strategies for infants and toddlers as well as for preschoolers. So now we're going to move on to the activity for this module, where you will see an example of a strategy to use with a child, and then you will create your own strategy that you can also connect to a chosen curriculum, specifically in the area of cognitive development. Remember, these strategies are based on the individual needs and goals for each child in the classroom, and each child, as you know, is unique and different. Not every child is going to be at the given age category for every developmental indicator in the North Carolina Foundations. Be sure to look at the developmental indicators that are younger and older than the age that you have chosen, because we always want to consider the varying individual goals for each child. We also need to remember to make adaptations to meet the unique needs of every ability level. Now, after you've completed your strategy and implemented it with a child or children, you will then use your activity from this module to answer the questions under the label on the Moodle page titled Check Your Understanding. Enjoy your activity.